Hello and welcome to the seventh edition episode, whatever, of the Between Torp and Turret Podcast. Today I'm here with Arcti,
Hello.
Finx,
Hello.
and Kaza.
Hello.
And we're gonna start right off with captains. So, as you are probably aware, there are several brothers or captains that have been added. So, this is presumably so people have more special captains of the same nation, which in itself is probably not bad, but the problem I have with that is that with them being brothers, they probably have the same improved skills instead of different ones, right? So, for example, we will not get a British captain with different skills than Jack Dunkirk has, or Bert Dunkirk is, I think, the name of the brother. And I think that's just kind of meh. Yeah, any thoughts on that?
I think maybe that's specific to the British one. I'm not sure that, like Steven Seagal, if you could have multiple Steven Seagals, that would have been brilliant because, he's actually good on he would have been good on the cruisers and on battleships. So it depends on the captain itself as to whether, having two of them is useful or not, I think.
But I just like some versatility, you know? For example, Jack Dunkirk gives me the improved Jack of all trades. And I would love to have that on the new light cruiser line of the Americans, right? Because in the end I get 5 consumables. And if I could reduce the time down for those, that would be brilliant. So, and I don't really need turret traverse on a Worcester. And I don't need expert loader either. Because the guns just load so fast. So, yeah, I'd rather have a Jack Dunkirk on Worcester than John Doe, you know?
It seems more that it's that they do this so you don't have to choose where you want this single commander to be. So, it's still possible that they will introduce other captains for the same nation with their skills. It's just that you don't have to have this single captain with these specific skills only on one ship.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That brings us to the next question. How are we gonna earn those captains?
I think the missions are quite nice, but also in a way, maybe it makes them too common. Like, if everybody has a captain, what makes it special? It's not particularly a special captain, is it? I'm not so sure though. Like, everybody having a captain is quite nice. Like, it's quite nice to have it in a mission because it's quite easy to earn, and that's nice. But also, like, if everybody has it, it's no longer a special captain. It's just a captain.
I also like the campaign approach, like you have with Yamamoto.
Yeah, I like that one too.
In the end, it's a special captain because of his unique skills.
Yeah. These campaign captains, from what we've seen, those are supposed to be like the ones with these special abilities. Like after a double strike or after a kraken, you get something, right? That's what these campaign captains are supposed to be, I think.
You get something after a double strike on Yamamoto or on the two
on Halsey.
Germans. Hey, what?
On the American captain that has a collection.
Yeah, the new one, but we haven't seen much else.
Oh, you mean the George?
What?
His he's called in George. Wait, let me see your face on Facebook. George Doe. No, that's not.
No, that's not. Yeah, I don't mean John Doe. I mean William Halsey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the right one.
Oh, you mean the Halloween one?
No.
It's not Halloween.
William Halsey, the famous captain that they are introducing with the light cruiser line?
I have no idea.
Finx, goddammit,
was
Finx.
somewhere on
I
a
never heard of him.
sometime.
Nice
Okay.
to see Finx is keeping up with what's going on in warships.
Okay, Finx, just to tell you really quick, we're gonna get a new collection with which will earn you a new campaign as well, a permanent campaign, just like with Yamamoto. And this campaign and collection will earn you William Halsey, legendary commander of the Wild Beavers, a group of Fletcher-class destroyers that were very famous for their actions around the Battle of Guadalcanal. And he comes with improved skills, as they are introducing for Yamamoto as well. So like a normal special captain. And he also has these special skills. For example, after double strike and something else, but I forgot.
It was Confederate, wasn't it? It was a high caliber. It was one
Oh
of the
yeah,
two.
Confederate, I think.
Well, that's not too hard to get.
Yeah.
It's not as ridiculous as the Kraken.
Mm.
Since I equipped Yamamoto on my IGN ships, I never got a Kraken on them.
I put it on my Akizuki and got Kraken. That's
Well,
fine.
I put it on my Hakuryu, so
Which just makes your planes reload faster or what?
Yeah, that's the only thing it does then.
gotta go fast. I mean, a consumable charge will also be nice. Nice to have 3 defensive fires.
Yeah.
So useful.
If I need.
Actually, this just reminded me. We have a normal special captain for the Americans already, which is John Doe, right? And then we get a special captain in the form of William Halsey, which I
Yes.
think is pretty nice. So that could set precedent for getting special commanders for Germany, Russia, etc. Right?
It'd be interesting to see how they do
Yeah,
the
and-
special captain for Germany, in that most of the names are they even allowed?
Of
Can you
course.
use most of them.
Why not?
wouldn't
The only
Germans
things
be
that
allowed?
are
Germany
not
is
allowed are like
Okay.
there's I think like 3 or 4 people, and basically all the people who are were tried at Nuremberg. But for example, the captain of the Bismarck, right? He died in action, so he was never there for the trials in Nuremberg.
Oh, so he would
So-
be allowed. Okay, well, fair enough.
Also,
and like
most-
there's a lot of people from that time that would be eligible, or even people from World War I, like Franz von Hipper, which is the next thing I want to talk about. The German captains, which were originally named something von Schiffmann, von Shipman, which is just ridiculous name, were changed to Franz and Reinhard von Jütland after the famous World War I naval battle of Jutland, of course. And this is a nod to the German commanders Franz von Hipper and Reinhard Scheer, which obviously borrowing the first names of both of them. Now, obviously, the question is, why not just name them Franz von Hipper and Reinhard Scheer?
Hmm.
But
maybe
then
right.
again, only the special commanders in the game are actual real people up to this point. All the other commanders have more or less generic names.
Or yeah, names that are kind of like placed strategically, like Mr. Dunkirk.
Yes, exactly. Or Jean-Jacques Honore, there was never a captain with that name. Or the Russian one, I don't know how he's called right now, but he was never real either. So, like, I like the nod, of course, to these two pretty famous admirals. But then again, why is the name von Jütland? Because in German we call that battle Seeschlacht am Skagerrak.
Well, this game isn't German.
Yes, but why not name them not von Jütland, but vom Skagerrak?
because I think people will recognize Jutland faster
Yes,
than
of
Skagerrak.
course. But I think you could like the average age of the warship's player base is like 30, 32, somewhere around those lines. I think we can like the people can do that mentally. I'm sure they can do it.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I think that maybe people like, especially on other servers, maybe on an EU server it would be alright doing. You could pass that off because enough of the server population is German, and also like the Europeans kind of like, I feel like they're more interested in that sort of like understanding each other's languages and like that sort of stuff. So you would understand much more what the name is supposed to be. But on like SEA server and NA server, you'd have lots of issues with people just not getting what's going on there.
Yeah, but then again, it's
Even
only
if
a
you
name.
did run a thing at the same time, like a news article or whatever on the client.
But then again, it's only a name. It's not actually doing anything, right? It's just a generic name for someone that is a
I guess so.
captain.
Well, but the question is, how many Germans do know the German name of Jutland?
Everyone who went to public school.
Sure about that? Should ask some Germans.
Well,
Thanks,
they
you're fake
probably
German,
definitely
you
haven't
don't
heard
count.
of Jutland though. Then, because I mean, why? Like, if you're not interested, why would you hear of Jutland then? Because that would imply that you've looked at English topic, like documentations of the matter or something, right? So if they know the battle at all, they know it as the Schlacht am Skagerrak. You know?
If you're not German, you know it as the Battle of Jutland.
Yes. And then we're back at the beginning. We already talked about this a bit, but does anyone have any closing statements? Okay. Moving on then to the Russian special captain and the accompanying mission to earn him. Yeah, we have to do 3 missions. And is that a good way to earn a captain? Do you think the missions were too hard, too easy?
I haven't finished it yet because I haven't really been playing that much.
Were pretty bad from design. Like the second one.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Nazi mission, where everyone had to kill some Russian ships, and there were no Russian ships. That's basically the same now with these German and Japanese ships.
It's a little less bad because people are actually playing, still just playing the Japanese and German ships. Back then, it was nobody was playing Russian ships, and those that didn't want to play anymore because of the mission.
But everyone still complains about how OP Russian ships are. But in the end, they never played them. Well, anyway, the first and second mission is quite good, but the second one, I need now several days for this mission until I finally heard of it. You can just make the defense of Naval Station Newport operation, and there are some German ships and Japanese ships.
Yeah, that's the thing that made it acceptable to me, that you could do it in operations and co-op. But I have to agree with you there, Finx, that the design is definitely not good and reminds me of the grim old days of Wargaming EU missions. Yeah, but the first and the second, the last mission is pretty well designed, I think. I mean, that's completely doable. 500 ribbons and 2,500, 25,000 XP is perfectly doable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So earning the captains through some sort of these missions is completely fine with me. But I think we're probably gonna be able to earn all these sisters, brothers, all of them, through such a mission probably. Moving on then to the Stalingrad. Every one of us is hotly on its heels. We all have 2 flags already. So obviously we're kind of interested in how it's turning out, right? Because we worked pretty hard for it. Now, without any of us having played it, has any one of you actually seen anything on it?
Yeah,
Yes.
after I got the message this morning, I went and looked at Flammy's video. Apart from that, I haven't really looked at it much.
Or
Yeah.
you watching Flamu videos?
Why would you do
Educational purposes only. I watch it for the plot, don't worry, guys.
that? Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so we all have probably seen the Flamo video. And from what I see is it's definitely that's not a cruiser. Like don't tell me that. It doesn't behave like a cruiser at all.
It's
There's
a
battleship grade
Russian
armor.
cruiser.
There's battleship grade turning circles. Actually worse.
It's also not supposed to be a cruiser.
Yes.
It's actually designated as a battle cruiser. It's just that the game does not have that class
Yes.
as a thing.
Exactly. Kind of like Scharnhorst as well. But
Yeah.
Scharnhorst is designated as a battleship instead. Interestingly. Anyways, I think Stalingrad is kind of weird as a ship because you have this huge concealment, right? And you have the radar, and then you can't really do anything with the radar because you spot the DDs, and then you shoot at them, and then you overpen them.
It's basically like Missouri.
Yes.
But just because you overpen them doesn't mean your team does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
At the end of the day, radar is a team play like thing, so it's not too bad.
Oh no, Stalingrad is absolutely a strong ship. I mean, did you see the pounding that he took there? 18
Well, the
plus
thing
that
is,
shit, man.
like,
It's not for
Yeah.
kids' eyes to see.
But he
It's,
didn't take. It was all battleship damage. It wasn't any cruiser damage in that, basically.
It wasn't.
It was only being shot at.
Cruiser HE.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's much weaker against cruiser HE than the video would show it to be.
yeah, of course. But every big ship has that problem, right?
Because I have seen someone else play it, and he got HE spammed, and then you're kind of like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, but then again, the Stalingrad kind of counters cruisers, simply because so much pen and railguns and stuff.
But no overmatch.
Yes, that is true.
Well, you can just take a Hindenburg player, plays against a Stalingrad, and now watch. My money is on
and
the
the
Hindenburg.
Hindenburg will probably burn him down.
Exactly. Like basically every cruiser will do that. As long their angle, nose in, kiting, whatever. It's the only chance of survival Stalingrad has, because he obviously can't get away, is shooting at the turrets. And just need some time.
Stalingrad
Huh?
isn't slow.
Yeah, but 1,100 meters of turning circle, if the citadel is still underwater, but if you show broadside, it will still get citadels. It's not one of the conqueror citadels.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just a Moskva. You get into one position and stay here. Basically, you do the same with the Yamato, right?
Yes, that's always that's always boggled me. we now have a Moskva, we have a Yamato, and then we have a Stalingrad, all with this stationary playstyle. Just
You
sitting
see,
somewhere.
I think if you're playing Moskva stationary, you're playing it wrong, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
But when, however, unless ships are just like what you just mentioned, the Stalingrad can actually use as a turret from the back because of her strong belt armor and those of that can't get overmatched unless it's Yamato. At least something.
Yeah, I think with Moskva you can get away with like running around in the open sometimes and kiting shit because you don't have 1,100 meters turning circle.
It's not exactly great though. I don't think it's going to really make much difference, to be honest. You see, with kiting, I don't think the important thing is turning circle. I think it's rudder shift.
I don't know that off my
it's a
top
pretty
of my head,
bad
bro.
rudder shift.
And your rudder shift is basically battleship.
Yeah. I'm very interested in how that is going to turn out. Okay, and now to the hottest matter of the day, ship-specific upgrades. I don't think anyone saw this coming. It was completely out of the blue. It was not teased in Waterline. It wasn't teased in any blog post or in any Q&A. Yes, it just popped up out of nowhere, kinda. And yeah, we're just gonna basically, okay, just quick. What did they? 1 second. Yes. So I'm just quoting from the Facebook dev blog here. Super test, ship-specific special upgrades. Unique upgrades for Tier 10 ships have entered testing. They will adjust the ship's stats to allow for better fulfillment of particular roles in battle. However, they are designed for existing slots and most of the time have trade-offs to prevent them from being a no-brainer choice. Now, the interesting part here is that most of the time have trade-offs, and we're gonna get into that when we talk about the specific, like the individual upgrades one by one. But it says allow for better fulfillment of particular roles in battle. Now, I think we're gonna talk about what all, like, if this is a good idea or not in the end, or should we do it now? I'm not sure. What do you think?
No, I think we should discuss each one first.
Okay. Then we're gonna start with Republic, and we're just gonna after this Facebook, after the same order. Thank you. That is on Facebook. First, Republic, and it is on slot 6. So that's the where you normally have the reload module right now. Reload upgrade, excuse me. And the new upgrade gives minus 19% to main battery traverse speed, so slower traverse speed. Minus 18% to main battery loading time. And minus 16% to main battery maximum firing range. That is... Wait, let me see right now. I did write this down. Yes. So the old one gives minus 12% to loading time and minus 13% to main battery traverse speed. So you get an extra 6% traverse speed that is slower, 6% slower, but you get a 5% better reload compared to the old upgrade you had in there.
And you lose a bit of your 26-kilometer range.
Yes, which is completely...
Oh no!
Yeah. You still have 22-kilometer range, by the way. It's not...
Yeah. It's kind of a token nerf. Because
yeah. Who used that ever?
Actually shooting at that range?
Who used that range? I've never seen that. Okay.
Well, I have seen people use it. But...
yeah, but I never hit anything.
Yeah.
So we get a reload speed of 19.7 seconds now. That is quite fast for 430 millimeter guns.
It's like 2 seconds more, huh?
Yes.
And then the adrenaline rush, 16 seconds maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Which is
Yeah, I
really,
think that's maybe a bit too
really
much.
fast. I just want to stress that 19.7 seconds is really fast
Yeah.
for a battleship.
What's
with
Stalingrad
these
base?
huge
Isn't it like
guns.
16-second base or something?
What? Stalingrad?
It's
Stalingrad base. What's that?
20,
No,
I think.
something like 20.
I'm pretty sure it's 20.
Then it goes down to like 16.
Yeah, and that's much smaller guns
Yes.
without overmatch.
And also,
So, yeah.
I mean, Republic doesn't have amazing armor, but it has more health than Stalingrad. It has secondaries, it has better AA.
It has speed boost.
It has speed boost, yes, but it does not have radar. Also, it has one gun less.
Yeah,
A single
you're
barrel is
missing
missing.
that one gun.
Yes. Yeah. What do you think of that upgrade?
I think that one's a bit crazy in that, like, it's a little bit overpowered, maybe. It's a bit much. I don't think Republic's particularly weak at the moment. I think people make out that it's a lot worse than it actually is.
Oh no, Republic is an amazing ship.
And also, wasn't this to like stop? Weren't there supposed to be drawbacks to make it so that it's not basically compulsory to have it on? I don't see how that's not completely compulsory to put on the ship.
Well, the turret's slower.
Drawback. The only
It's not like they're slow to start with.
So I have 41, then I take expert marksman. Now
Yeah, and
I
then the only
have
drawback is
35.
not 26 kilometer range, which isn't really a drawback.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of fine because it just scaled. I mean, you had 12% loading time less and 13% main battery traverse less, and now you have 18% loading time less and 19% traverse speed less. So it just kind of scaled, and also got the less maximum range. So I think it's kind of balanced on that. It's definitely still better than the normal choice. But
it's just a better version of the main battery mod.
Yes.
Yeah. You see, also, I don't really see why they had to do this as well, though, to be honest. Like.
Yeah, but let's talk about that in the end, okay? If these upgrades are necessary or not.
Like,
all right.
I don't really care about the turret traverse or the range. Something like dispersion debuff would have been much better.
Oh yes, definitely. With only 8 guns, that is, you can definitely feel the only 8 guns sometimes. When dispersion just says no, fuck off.
So basically,
all your
most
shells
of
go
the time
somewhere.
with me.
Alright. Next one. Grosser Kurfürst. This upgrade also goes in slot 6. So for most people, most sane people, anyways, have the main battery reload stuff in there as well. Except for the crazy nutjacks who have secondary battery stuff in there. But let's focus on the sane ones, okay? So the new slot 6 upgrade has the following stats: minus 7% to main battery traverse speed, minus 15% to main battery loading time, minus 8% to main battery maximum fire range, and minus 10% to secondary battery loading time. So already we can see this is a way stronger upgrade than the Republic one. Simply because it actually increases the traverse speed compared to the one that we had, that we probably had in that slot before. And it also gets us more more reload on the secondary battery,
3%.
and it only gets minus 8% of main battery maximum fire range.
Yeah. Well, doesn't this one also reduce your range, which is kind of more of an
Yes.
issue in a GK
Yeah.
than it is in a Republic.
GK
But why
only
should-
has 20.6, which is still.
Why should it be an issue? Have you ever tried to hit something with the GK on max range?
No.
But there's other game modes more than just random though. Like in like a clan battle situation, you want more range than.
Well,
Well, I
I have
guess,
I have a spotting aircraft, so
Oh,
True.
that is actually true. Yeah.
It's not like the Republic where you can compensate with it.
Yeah, that's true.
The new range is 19 kilometers, by the way. 19 point something.
it's like 1 km less.
Yes. It's only 8% this time, not the 16, like with the Republic. So yeah.
No, I guess
It
it's not too
seems a
bad.
bit
then.
powerful.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
seem that powerful, honestly.
No, I think it seems really like quite insane that you get bonuses to basically all of everything and not really getting you're getting a negligible nerf.
Yeah, your main battery loading time gets better, while your debuff to traverse speed is less.
Yes, that is pretty. Like the comparison, like you don't load that much faster.
It doesn't scale like the Republic. It's
Yes.
actually just better.
Yes. And you also get minus 10% to secondary battery loading time. And the only offset to that is that you get a slight decrease in range.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we already said, that's not too bad because you get a spotting plane and.
Yes.
So basically, I can play now a hybrid with secondary, with tank build.
Probably.
Something like that.
I mean, minus 10% to reload on a secondary is pretty nice on a GK.
And then I get also BFC. That's another 10%.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
That is actually really nice.
Then you already have the secondary module again with BFC.
Yeah, I think that one is a bit strong.
Yeah. I don't think it will make the GK straight up overpowered, but I think this upgrade shows that that they want to give the GK more, like in comparison to like they buffed the GK more than they buffed the Republic with this upgrade, you know.
Yeah.
And why not just buff the ship itself? But I'm going ahead again. Okay, so we're just gonna move on. Yamato goes in slot 6 as well. Let me find it. There it is. And as we already said, Yamato also has reload mod. Most people use reload mod. And the new upgrade gives minus 19% to main battery traverse speed, minus 12% to loading time, and minus 11% to maximum dispersion. Now this is interesting because we get way slower traverse speed and actually a little bit longer reload. So the reload speed goes down compared to the old modification, but we get way better dispersion.
Loading time is actually the same.
No.
Both is minus 12%.
No, I think the mod gives minus 13%, doesn't it?
No, minus 12. The traverse speed is minus 13.
Well,
yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay, sorry.
I don't really know if I want to have 1,000 seconds traverse speed for 180 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, to be honest, like if you can deal with the traverse speed, it's just straight up a complete buff, and it's a bit. I'm not sure about that one. It seems much more balanced than the GK one, to be fair, though.
Yeah, as long as you don't need to turn your turns, it's great.
Which you shouldn't anyway in a Yamato.
Interesting.
You'd be surprised. But yeah, even so, it's actually like a welcome buff in a way. But also, yeah, buffing
seems-
individual ships instead of giving them gimmicky modules.
It seems more balanced than the other two.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely gonna make the Yamato stronger. And I mean that dispersion, holy shit, that's gonna be laser guns.
I don't think it's going to be
Not really.
that much better because, like you see, Montana's already, I think, better in terms of dispersion than Yamato at the moment, and that's got minus 11% dispersion on main battery shells. If you've played without, it's not significantly worse. I mean, it's worse, and you notice it, but it's not that much worse. I think it's going to be really nice, but
the thing that makes the Yamato guns better at shooting some things is the Sigma, not the maximum dispersion.
Yeah, but if you change maximum dispersion as well, it's gonna be even better, right? Also, Finx, stop fucking knocking on your mic, please.
Oh,
oh,
Oh.
but I'm actually not doing it.
But there's like clonk, clonk, clonk sometimes.
It's actually.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on swiftly. Or does anyone have any comments on Yamato?
227.84 kilometer. Meter dispersion. Interesting.
Yeah, but I think
You
this
compare that to Montana. Montana has 264. That's with the mod, so it's going to have better dispersion with less shells than Montana now.
I'm surprised they
And
didn't
with
nerf
the
the
overmatch.
Yamato main battery firing range.
And yeah, and with the extra 3.5 kilometers or whatever it is. Or yeah, 3 kilometers.
Yeah. I think this is the right way for Yamato because that's kind of the Yamato role, right? Sitting somewhere and more or less like having to rely on quality of shells, right? To hit something rather than having just more shells to pump out, like other ships, Montana.
And GK to an extent as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, then moving on swiftly to the Montana. This one is for slot 5, which is concealment. And where is it? Where is it? 1 second.
Now you see, I don't think I'd take any module that went into the concealment module 1, unless it also changed concealment. And even so, I wouldn't. I'm not sure I would take it because I don't think that any ship doesn't like benefit from having really good concealment anyway. Above the SUs, the only module that I saw that actually, seemed like it would be useful in that slot was the Zao one.
Yeah,
maybe the
but
Conqueror
I'll
one
just
too.
quickly say what the Montana upgrade gives. It gives minus 10% to flooding and recovery time, minus 10% to time of fire extinguishing, minus 70% to steering gears repair time, and minus 30% to rudder shift time.
No, you see, I'd never take that over the concealment. I'd want my 13.4 concealment. It's not even that good to begin with. Like, you don't want to make it even worse.
So, do they want to make some battleships basically cruisers?
I mean, the Montana is...
Like, for what do you need a steering gears repair time in the Montana?
You tell me, man, you tell me. That seems pretty interesting to me.
But for what do you need more rudder shift?
To dodge, obviously.
To dodge.
Oh, the Titan Montana.
Now I see everything makes sense.
Why did we never think of this? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she can probably dodge with less rudder shift time, actually, which is kind of interesting to think about.
No, it's just 100% AIDS. Please don't do that.
Yes,
Please do not.
I also think this is not a good change, honestly.
Finally, battleships can dodge deep water torpedoes.
Not like this, no. Just remove the deep water torpedoes, then you don't have to dodge them. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
hate deep water torpedoes, please. Wargaming. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Montana one. I don't really see the point. I'd much rather have 13.4 concealment than slightly better damage over time. Especially considering with full damage over time build, you can get down to like 34 seconds anyway.
Oh, Arcti, you will love some next one.
Yeah. Next one, Conqueror.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
well-
talk about the other big battleship. The last one that we haven't talked about yet, the Conqueror. So this is also for slot 5, and obviously she has the concealment upgrade in there right now, which makes her stupidly good at being concealed. Better than Hindenburg, better than Moskva, better than Henry,
All the tier 10
definitely.
battleships are better than Moscow, to be fair though.
Oh no.
Yes, but still, it's kind of silly to be honest. Okay, so what she gets is a new upgrade which gives plus 13% to main battery traverse speed, so faster turrets this time. She gets minus 80% to rudder to steering gears repair time, and minus 40% to rudder shift time.
Yeah, so this is basically the steering gears mod that destroyers and cruisers can mount, but with faster turret on top of it.
Yes.
Who said Battleship Conqueror? More like Cruiser Conqueror. Complete.
Yeah.
Don't even do this. Wargaming, why? I
The thi-
really,
and-
really
and-
hate this one.
And the thing is, in Conqueror, you might actually be able to get away with it because your concealment is that stupid.
11.8.
Yes,
With
and with the
the-
new upgrade, it would be 13.1.
And that's
Yeah,
still
which
better
is
than
still
the other tier
fine
10
for a
battleships.
battleship.
Yes.
And then you'll have cruiser mobility.
The funny thing is that is still better than every single other battleship if they have concealment expert and
Yep.
the concealment module. It's not like 2 kilometers better, obviously, but it's at least 200 meters better.
300 meters, isn't it? Because
No, Montana has 13.36, and now we get down to 13.1, so yeah, I guess 4. But, no, 3. But, yeah, somewhere in between those. She still outspots every other battleship.
It only makes it barely, but that's still good enough.
Yeah, of course, and with the way faster turning batteries, if she sees them first, so she gets to turn her guns first, and with the
And you can
faster
turn-
guns turning, she will get
you have
her
fun with
guns
rudder
on
shift.
them in the time.
So you can turn faster to them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this one seems a bit weird because it doesn't really have a drawback, and it's buffing an already very strong ship.
The drawback is not getting the concealment module.
But
which-
the concealment's already so
which
broken
is
that
not
doesn't really
a
matter.
problem on the Conqueror.
Yeah. So I don't really understand that one at all.
Well, at least they didn't put it in the 6th slot.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would have been kind of fucked. All right. Now we're getting to cruisers, and the first one is the Zao. This one goes in slot 6 again. So, actually, this is the the Zao is one of the few ships that does not use the reload mod, but instead probably uses the range
I
mod,
disagree.
which gives plus 16% to main battery range. Now, the new upgrade gets you minus 20% to rudder shift, minus 7% to maximum dispersion of main battery shells, and plus 8% to main battery firing range.
6 seconds.
Yeah, this one I like. This one I do like because it gives you a bit of both range and reload, which is nice because that's one of the things that
It doesn't give
differs
reload,
between.
though.
It does, doesn't it?
It doesn't. It gives rudder shift and dispersion
Oh, maybe I misread that one. then.
And range.
and
Oh, yeah,
range. But
range,
yeah,
so-
but no
Oh, I thought well,
The
even so,
reload is
like,
still terrible.
hmm,
So everybody playing who wants to play with reload, this mod is not interesting at all.
Yeah, but most people play with range. I don't think I've ever seen a Zal that didn't play with range
You
and
have?
instead took reload.
You have?
Oh yes, I have. Sorry. Okay.
both Kaza and Robin do it.
Yeah,
And
but
Jesper, I think, as well.
yeah, but they're unicorns. Like they do stupid shit and get away with it. That's like kind of their thing. Anyways, the thing is, I really like this one actually because it gives you better rudder shift, so you can actually dodge better, right? So you get more survivable, which kind of offsets your limited range. And you get less dispersion, so you get even more accurate guns, even though you already have the most accurate cruiser guns. And you also get a bit more range. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. I do like it.
Oh, that's around 20 km, around 8 seconds rudder shift. I can't understand the dispersion because it already has the dispersion.
Yeah.
I think actually the thing with Zao on this one is that it might make Zao broken.
Are you sure?
Basically, it's like
Because with a even better rudder shift, I'm not so sure.
Well, you only get 8% more range though.
Yeah. But if with that though you would run, what do you call it, spotter plane. So for if you've got the mod, isn't it like 2 minutes of extra range, and then you
Yes.
can be sitting at
Let me
like
see.
19 kilometers with like no rudder shift, and then basically nobody can do any damage to you anymore unless you're facing Yamato. So not so sure about that one. I mean, it's nice for someone who plays Zao, but I think that one might make Zao a bit broken.
Yeah.
so,
I can see where you're coming from, definitely.
so she could burn targets down like Sepur Moskva's now from 20 km.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have as much range as it did before, but you can. It's got enough range if you do that and then have the thing. Does it have if you do that? So it's what 15.8 range.
Yeah, the base range is 16.2. So with
16.2.
this upgraded would be 17.5, and with
So
the
that's
spotter
more than
plane
enough
it's
range.
21.
Yeah. See, I think that 17.5 is enough range for a Zao. I would not need more than 17.5 range. And with the better turret traverse, well, no, so the better what do you call it? Rudder
Rudder
shift.
shift.
I think that might make it a bit broken.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely
Interesting thing
understand that.
is you can you technically are able to mount 3 rudder shift mods then.
But then you lose your ability to have 9.7 concealment.
Which is like the best thing about the
Yeah.
Zal, in my opinion.
But now you basically compensate.
But then you
with-
have 80% less rudder shift.
It's like what 4 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, that is kind of
Then you
ridiculous,
have-
I must say, but still.
Then you have destroyer like
Yeah, then you're a
Destroy
destroyer.
accuracy and destroy
rudder shift.
rudder shift. Oh yeah.
Try it
Yeah.
with me at max range.
Exactly. So.
Okay.
If it isn't hard enough already.
Sorry?
Yeah, as somebody who plays out, it looks really nice, but actually thinking about it, maybe that one's a bit broken.
Yeah. Maybe. We will see. This stuff will definitely be tested before being implemented, I think.
I sure
So-
hope so.
I
Oh, I
definitely
definitely
hope
should
so,
hope so.
yes. So we will see. Next up is Hindenburg, my probably favorite cruiser. And this upgrade goes into slot 5. Where are you, Hindenburg?
That's concealment.
There.
That's considered
Yes, that is
Yeah.
concealment.
Hindenburg has such bad concealment that, I don't think I'd ever see anybody taking it. And especially because it's a cruiser. So the minus 50% time of fire extinguishing, I mean, like, really? It's already 30 seconds.
You could
really need
actually
15-second fires?
do that on something like a Moscow. But
Yeah, on a Moscow, that would be really nice.
But
But on
besides-
Hindenburg,
it's the cruisers.
I do like the idea of this mod. It's just not worth it over concealment.
Like the
To
cruisers
be honest,
already
though,
have like
minus 30% rudder shift time, minus 70% to flood recovering time, minus 50% to time of fire extinguishing, minus 50% to main battery repair time. That is really good.
but why would
That's
you run?
actually really good. The rudder
Yeah,
shift.
but you can't get unspotted from battleships.
No,
That's
but
what
fuck,
we have.
why would I need to get unspotted from battleships? I'm a Hindenburg. I can bounce those guys. I can actually wiggle them now.
Yeah,
I
but
have
if you
low,
used to
I
do
have
that,
really
then
long
why
range,
wouldn't you
and
run?
I am really, really scary to the battleship.
Well, then, but why would you do that? Why would you just run steering gears, mod 3?
Because I get a fuck ton of other stuff as well.
Yeah, but it's stuff that isn't really worth it. I think. Like,
Minus
I mean,
50%
minus
time of
50%.
fire
Yeah, but it's
extinguishing?
only. Yeah, but it's not the old system where it was 60 seconds on everyone. It's only
Yeah,
30
but that
seconds
is
on cruisers.
that's still
so I don't
15
think.
seconds less.
I
Or
don't think it's
13
worth
if
it.
you have the flag.
Meh.
That is 13 seconds of continuously ticking
it's-
damage.
but it's 16.
If somebody's HE spamming you that hard, likelihood is that they're just going to set fire after fire after fire. So it's not really going to make that much difference anyway.
it was
That
just
can be the
13
difference
seconds
between
is-
living and dying, though.
In most
Also
cases, I
interesting.
disagree.
If you do that, a Zhao just has to wait 1 or 2 seconds between after his guns are reloaded to continuously set you on fire.
But still, like, this is... you actually go out between the Zao salvos. Which is... I just...
Except you can't because you don't have concealment. And the
Yeah,
Zhao
but
is
you
faster.
can burn down a Zao.
But the Zhao can
And
still
if
burn
the
you
Zao
down
is
if
so
you
close
wait
that I
1
can't
Yeah.
go dark from him, then the Zao is fucked.
No, because your concealment's like 14 kilometers at this point.
But still.
That's almost 5 kilometers more than a Zhao.
Yeah, but still, that's the range at which Hindenburg can actually kill a Zao pretty comfortably.
Assuming a 1v1 between a Zhao and a Hindenburg.
Yeah, but that's assuming anyways.
But at
Like,
that point,
the Hindenburg is
what-
gonna get forced
at
into
that point,
the...
the module doesn't even matter because a Hindenburg just has more DPM.
Yes. I mean, the Hindenburg is going to get turned into a dedicated, more or less backline, long-range HE spammer, basically, by this upgrade. So she encroaches on the role of the Henry.
No, I completely disagree. I think if you're going to run that module, you're saying that you want to go and tank more damage,
Yeah,
which is counterintuitive because you've now got worse concealment, which is why I don't think it's that good. Because you have to give up your concealment to then become more tanky, and it makes sense for you to go closer, which is a bit counterintuitive.
like you become better at brawling, but you can't brawl because you're spotted from the moon.
Yeah.
I kinda get that.
It might still be okay, but at first glance, it doesn't seem really.
Hey, at first glance, it doesn't seem that worth it, in my opinion. I'd
Yeah.
definitely still run concealment.
Okay.
It's one that requires experimenting, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, most of these do, right? But
Well,
I don't
some
think
of
so
those
so far.
battleships, ones you can just say that they're straight up an upgrade. This one, not so much.
yeah, if this one comes to the game unchanged, I'm definitely gonna try this. I'm interested because the Zao is like the Hindenburg already has pretty bad concealment, So I'm interested to see how much difference this actually makes. These 1.4 kilometers.
I'm definitely gonna try it, but it's not something. Like it's not immediately obvious that it would be better or worse. Just kind of, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
What
it makes me
I
feel
know
like that
of
kind of
Hurricane clans who have their Hindenburgs play rudder shift. So, I mean, this is just basically just a better rudder shift module without the rudder
No,
repair
it's
time.
not, because the rudder shift is actually less.
And you have lower chance of your rudder being knocked out, which is also very important. Because
Yes, but instead you get
Hindenburg
better
has
main battery repair time,
Yeah,
which is really nice.
most of the reason why you would want to run that, although I think, is not to dodge the battleship salvos, because the battleships are actually quite slow, like shells. It's more to dodge the cruiser salvos, which aren't really knocking out your guns to begin with anyway.
Have you fought Des Moines recently?
Yeah, but then Des Moines fire AP at you and are something you should be running away from, even with that module.
Yes, definitely. But sometimes, like I feel like this mod can definitely be nice sometimes. It's definitely not as much of a brain dead choice as the other ones sometimes, but yeah.
For that, I like it more, because the battleship ones, for example, are kind of like, why not? Except for the Montana one, but
And maybe the Conqueror one if you really wanted to have 11.8 concealment.
yeah, but the other three are very probably yes, and Conqueror is still very good. Only Montana is not really that interesting, and Hindenburg is more like, do you want this or do you want concealment?
Yeah, you actually have a choice here, I think.
Yeah, it's more of a choice than just the same mod, but a little bit different. Yeah.
Okay. Let's wrap this up here and go on to the Henry that I just talked about. This also goes in slot 5. And for Henry, there are people who use the DPM. No, what? Concealment module. This is the wrong slot. They use concealment or they use the rudder shift. There's both is quite viable actually. And the new upgrade gets you minus 10%, plus 10 to rudder shift. Okay. Plus 5 to detectability, minus 12 to main battery reload, and plus 8% to main battery maximum fire range. So you get DPM and range, and lose both the things that you had previously invested in this point, or in this slot.
Why would I do that?
You tell me. To me, this is just not worth it at all.
I know too little about Henry to say anything useful about it.
Well, I know that Nick runs rudder shift because the rudder is so bad that he can't, even with concealment expert, he can't play it with that rudder. So plus 10% to rudder shift time seems mad, to be honest. Yeah, I don't see why you would run this.
You're basically do the same now, 5.7 seconds. That's better than the Saus.
So your rudder is even worse than it currently is, which is pretty bad to begin with. Your detectability is bad, or worse, and it's not great to begin with. Your reload, yeah, that's nice, but then, and you get a little bit more range, which you don't really need any either, because you're a Henry and you already have like 19 kilometers base range.
And it's also not like your reload was really suffering.
Yeah, because the reload is in the other slot anyway.
Yeah,
so you get double reload.
Yeah, I don't think this is worth it, honestly. Like
you get like
to be
18-kilometer concealment. Lol.
Yeah, you get to hang back even further now, which is in itself kinda. Do I really want my cruisers to be that? Do I really need my cruisers to be hanging in the very back and like just push their average damage? Or do I need my cruisers to be flexible and go up to caps, cap them, flank the enemy, all that stuff, right? Because all of that is just basically this. Henry says, okay, I'm giving up all that to just get more damage.
I don't think Henry can do that to begin with, though, to be honest. It's not very good for that anyway. I think that they're looking at what Henry is, looking at Henry's stats and going, okay, Henry's bad, so let's give it a DPM buff. Because one of the stats they look at, they don't really look at, capping stats and stuff for cruisers, do they? They look at damage stats, and the damage stat.
And I
is
also
easily
doubt
fixed by
that Henry is very much used to cap things.
Yeah, it's simply too big. Concealment is the worst, apart from Moskva, in cruisers. And if you don't run, if you run rudder shift mod anyway, I just don't see it. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, Henry just has a huge problem with survivability. It doesn't have good concealment to make up for bad armor. It doesn't have good rudder shift to make up for bad armor. And it doesn't have bad armor to make up for bad rudder shift and concealment. So
and with this mod, you're only getting worse rudder shift and concealment.
Yes, so you just lose everything survivability related, and just get a bit more damage.
Well, more like you don't really have the survivability thing, and you make it even worse.
Yeah, exactly. You have nothing to start with, and then you even fuck it up even further. I mean, if you really want to go for a glass cannon build, sure, go for it. Why not? But I don't think it will be consistent.
Or really fun to play either.
Yes. Because at some point there's just gonna be a battleship salvo coming, and you can't dodge it because you're too slow, and then it's gonna be it. Game over.
Because your rudder shift is even worse.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, or you're just gonna get spotted. Perma spotted by something.
13-second rudder shift, and it's just not fun.
Yeah. Okay, then Minotaur. This is slot 6. So what do Minotaurs have on that? I think reload?
Yes.
Actually, to be fair, the Monitor doesn't have one set thing for that slot. You can basically put whatever you like in that slot, apart from secondaries. Unless you really want to range. Range, yeah. Can do. It's not impossible.
Range
but I don't know why you would
Minotaur.
do it. You see a surprising amount of them. You see too many of them. So, I don't know. Yeah, Monitor doesn't even have a set in stone one.
Okay, the new upgrade is minus 30% to smoke duration, plus 300% to smoke emission time, minus 10% to maximum dispersion of enemy shells that fire on your ship.
Yeah, definitely no. No. Please.
Yeah, you get a few more, overall, a few more seconds smoke.
Yeah, and you make yourself easy to hit. No, there's no way you would ever run that. I'm
also,
sorry.
This thing is completely useless if you run Radar Minotaur.
Exactly. You shoehorn yourself into playing Smoke Minotaur.
No, it's not really useless. It's just a dispersion of the incoming shells is worse.
No,
it's better. It's better.
Actually better.
The enemies get better dispersion if they shoot at you.
Which is just
they get less dispersion. So you get.
So basically, we're talking here about a ship that blows up when you take something above 240 millimeters.
Yeah. And you're making the dispersion when they shoot you even better. So there's no way that anybody who has any ounce of sanity would ever play this on their ship.
I can already see Jesper.
Yes. To be honest, though, Jesper doesn't like the Perth very much, and that's what this becomes. This becomes a Perth at tier 10.
Not really.
Not really, because it's still only 30-second smoke place down time.
No,
no,
it's
60.
times 3, and the Minotaur has like 15 seconds or something.
Is it 15 seconds?
Yeah, it used to be 10, but they buffed it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 15 seconds, but it says plus 300. If it's like that, then it's 60 seconds, and you actually get extra smoke time. If it's times 3, then it's 45 seconds, and you lose time.
Yeah, but it says
So-
plus 300%, right? So
I'm
it should be
assuming
60.
that it's times 4.
Yes.
So then it's 60 seconds of smoke.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But this means the Minotaur runs in the same problem that the Huanghe is, I think, the ship. Yes, and the Perth already have, which is that the smoke downtime is really long, actually. Because the smoke downtime, normally the
It
timer only
starts
the
when
the
the
smoke
smoke
only
is sent.
starts to recharge once you've placed the last smoke puff, right? So these 60 seconds you don't actually recharge your smoke generator. So now you have 30 seconds less smoke time, and you also have these 45 seconds you have 30% less smoke time, basically, right? So you have these 30% more time to wait between your smokes, where you don't have a smoke available.
It's only 50 seconds.
But it is
Unlike
50 seconds. That
with,
is more than any ship in the line up to that point.
Yeah, but I mean,
And people have better dispersion shooting at you.
Yeah, that is the big no. Not the smoke
or-
itself. I don't think the smoke itself would be too bad, but I think that the minus 10% people shooting at you is just like the ultimate no. Do not take this module, please.
And this also does not give any reason to play Smoke Minotaur.
Yeah,
You mean
I
Red
mean,
Diamond as well, yeah.
yeah.
Someone still has to teach me how to play Radar Miner.
Like because when they said like they have in their like the first few sentences that they say that it is for better fulfillment of particular roles, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like the only thing it does is give you a few more seconds smoke if you really use it optimally, and then you're easier to hit.
Mm-hmm.
None of which is useful.
Yeah. Okay, next up is Des Moines. This also goes in slot 6. There you also have range. Like the people usually run range or reload. And the new upgrade gives you minus 40% to time to reaching full engine power, and minus 20% to rudder shift time, and minus 10% to the duration of surveillance radar.
Honestly, this seems like much more of a one for a Zao, so you can slow down and speed up much better and have better rudder shift. Not
Yeah.
for Des Moines. Des Moines is not a ship that you kite in, and yeah, sure, the acceleration is slightly better, but I don't really see it like being significantly better. And having slower, like less radar. I mean, why would you ever want less radar? You want to maximize your radar as much as possible already. So seems a bit silly. I definitely, for one, would never run this mod.
Also, the reaching full engine power is not very useful.
It's nice. I mean, it basically makes you into a Minotaur in terms of acceleration, which is
Not
useful,
even.
especially for like.
Not,
Well,
not
yeah,
even.
not even that, but something on like a Zao where you want to be like modulating your speed to make people miss more. Yeah, sure, but you're at a Des Moines.
like-
You don't kite at Des Moines.
Maybe if you also take the propulsion mod and the fourth slot.
No, this is like
But-
honestly, this is probably the worst thing that's come out of this. To be honest, simply like
I think the Minotaur one's worse, to be honest. But
No, it's on the same level as the Minotaur.
Yeah.
Why would you use this?
Well, the thing is just I don't like.
Maybe they're going with the thing that the mines are a lot stationary. So
Yes.
that
So
when
obviously
they
it's
actually
something
need to move
with
from
less
their
rudder shift
position,
time and
that
more.
they can get away.
But if you're stationary, why would I need the acceleration or the rudder shift? I'm behind an island anyway. I'm stationary. I don't move.
Because when your position is compromised, you want to get away.
But
I
my
think that's
position
the
wouldn't be
reasoning.
compromised if I had 10% more duration of radar, and if I had better DPM, because then I could just kill them before they get to me, right? Or
Not
more range.
necessarily.
But
Not necessarily.
well, I think that if your position is compromised and you need to get out, that 40% better acceleration is not really going to help you in that. You are going to be blapped anyway, or you're going to be able to get out safe anyway. It's not going to make much difference.
It was good enough. I'm just saying that might be their reasoning.
Yeah, I know. I understand the reasoning and I understand what you said, but I don't think that is actually valid reasoning, to be honest.
Yeah.
In that you're going to be blapped whether you like it or not, or you're not in a position where you're going to be blapped if your position is compromised.
Also, I
That's
would
either one or
just
the
like
other,
to mention something, because, for example, if I get the range mod, I can choose other positions to hide behind, right? So, like I can shoot other positions, I can do less risky stuff. And I think that improves my survivability more in a Des Moines than 40% better acceleration or 20% better rudder shift.
I don't think
would
either of
still
them
like it,
improve
just-
your.
And I would still like to have it just to see how good your acceleration is with both propulsion modifications. So.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
But it's only for fun, not really useful.
Yeah.
The problem is that actually you use gun control system. You still go in the same positions. You use gun control systems to get more damage, more than to improve your survivability. And your Des Moines, your survivability is so bad that it doesn't matter how much you buff it, it's still going to be bad. And that's how it's always going to be. And it's because it has paper armor. So I don't think there's much that you can do to prevent that from happening. Whether you make the acceleration better or not, you're going to be blapped and you're going to die. And that's why it's not going to be particularly good.
All right. Next up is the Worcester. Interestingly enough, they included it in here. And, well, we don't really know what people will take in that most of the time.
Oh, almost certainly reload. It's already got.
No, it's about slot 5. Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Yeah, slot 5.
So it's probably gonna be concealment.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't think there's much controversy about that, but I'm just gonna mention it that nobody has really tested that.
I think it might be okay, but you want the best concealment you can because it's got paper armor.
Let me
much
just
like Des Moines,
tell you what you get, okay? Thank you. So, the special upgrade gets you plus 10% to duration of surveillance radar, plus 20% to duration of hydroacoustic search, plus 20% to duration of defensive AA fire, and minus 5% to detectability radius. So you get half the benefit of concealment module, but no better restriction of enemies. Worse dispersion, I guess.
Yeah, I think it might actually be good because it's obviously not as good as just getting concealment with 10%, but because you still get the 5%, I believe you still have like about as much detectability range as your radar, so you can still pop radar when you're spotted. It's not like you lose that ability, but yeah, I don't know.
Also, you gain plus 40% defense for A duration with the defense for A fire module, as it wouldn't be bad enough.
I don't think you really need that because if you pop your defensive fire
That's true.
with planes, those planes are already dead. Whether or
Yep.
not you have 40% longer AA.
It doesn't even need defensive fire.
You
I know.
would probably just not get the defensive AA fire modification and get this one instead.
And use the radar one instead. But I don't know about this one.
Radars was on the same one.
That
I
is
don't know
a
about
that
this
is a
one.
really long radar, actually.
Yeah, basically a bit longer than DM, like 1 minute and 10 seconds maybe.
Hmm. It becomes 1 minute. Yeah, about 1 minute 10 seconds. It's 36 seconds plus 50%. Yeah.
Interesting question. Does that plus 10%? If I have the radar module, plus 10% if the radar module is taken into account before this plus 10%?
No, they add together, so it becomes plus 50%, not
No.
plus 44% or whatever it is. Or
Is it
sure?
additive or
Because I think
multiplicative?
I
it's
think
additive.
I think it multiplies.
I don't think it's. I don't
Well,
think so.
Often they do multiplications because, for example, your concealment does work that way.
Oh yeah.
Range of AA and secondaries works that way. I think gun range also works that way if you have if AFD is applicable to your main guns.
Yeah,
So
but I think that.
I think it's also multiplicative for this, which
But
still
I think
means
that
it's
that's when you've
61
got.
seconds.
Yeah, I don't think so because I think that's different. Like captain is taken into account before modules, or modules is taken into account before captain. Whereas if they're both modules, I think they might be additive.
Yeah, we never had that situation before. So this is kind of interesting.
You can do it because you can put both range mods on a Montana.
All
Because
right.
you have artillery plotting rim, and you get the range mod.
Can someone do that real quick?
I don't have a Montana.
I can do, yeah.
Just check that.
So it's 27.4 with artillery plotting rim, and then oh no, you can't put range mod. Oh
yeah, it's switched because.
Oh yeah, it's switched in the thing, isn't it? Oh right.
Yeah.
God damn it, Arcti.
God damn it.
Yeah. Also
Gun.
Oh well.
What?
Dang nabbit.
What? New.
All right, then I guess we just have to see.
Oh well. We'll see when it gets there, but I think it'll be additive.
I don't. So yeah, there's that.
Everything else so far has been multiplicative. So
yeah, we will just see what Russian coding will give us. Okay. Next up,
errors probably.
I hope so.
You can see it with flags, can't you? Because the flags aren't multiplicative. Because when you have like multi-layers of flags, if you have like equal speed Charlie and then like the dragon flags, it adds for every each one, doesn't it? It doesn't multiply.
Yeah, but that's experience.
Yeah, but it could be in the same way that they're on the same level of you add them because they're all flags. No?
No.
Okay. Next up is Moskva. This is also slot 5, and every sane person takes Concealment Expert on Moskva. Because the concealment is so shit. So, the new one gives you... God damn it, why am I so bad at finding
minus 13% main battery traverse speed, minus 11% maximum dispersion of main battery shells, and plus 8% to main battery firing range.
Thank you very much, Arcti.
I don't think that's going to be particularly useful because in the Moskva you're supposed to be like flanking and using your radar and like killing DDs that are trying to push. I don't think that.
Who doesn't know Moskva's a great flanker?
Well, I mean, you don't want other people on your flanks. You've got to outflank them, so they can't be on your flank.
This is the reload mod, but instead of reload, you get dispersion and firing range.
And actually, no, it's turret traverse speed. Oh yes, no, it would be right. Yeah, sorry, brain cell's not working. Yeah, so
you get even slower guns.
I don't think I'd take it, mostly because 13.7 is already bad enough. I don't want it even worse. But if I was somebody who took steering gears, would I take this? Probably.
Have you ever seen
mean-
anyone who takes steering gears on Moskva?
I
What?
saw a
Well-
Yamato that didn't have concealment expert or concealment module in ranked. At rank
I-
5.
There are also still people who run secondary builds on Yamato, so everything is possible.
Okay, so in my opinion, this is complete garbage. Just because you get even slower main battery traverse speed, which is already really slow on Moskva, if you have the
Actually-
reload thingy.
I don't run reload thingy on my Moskva though, because I run AA gun mod 3.
Yeah, that's fine though, but still, you don't get, like, if you got reload from this module, that would be totally busted, right? But just getting you minus 11% dispersion and plus 8% firing range, I don't need the firing range. I can't already. It's already kind of hard to hit something with only 6 shells at that range. I don't really need that, and dispersion is
Like-
kind of fine. It's
It's just that you can hit things better.
yeah, but
the shells are so fast. Actually, to be fair, yeah, in clan battles you run range mod on a Moskva.
Well, I also do it in random battles.
That's because you're Finx and you're derpy, but you know. I
One
actually
me,
don't
one
think it
me.
would be too bad. I don't think it would be too bad in that actually. But the problem is that then suggests that you're going to go into a kiting playstyle because you've got bad concealment and you've got
Bad turret
more
traverse.
range and bad toe traverse. So I don't think it's conducive to the proper playstyle that you should be taking in a Moskva, to be honest.
Well, most
I'm not really
modules
sure what
aren't
proper
really that
playstyle is.
great.
Well, I mean, some
So-
of the modules are quite quite good for what they're supposed to be doing. I.e., the Zao one is good for kiting because you've got more range and better rudder shift, and on the Yamato one is good for doing what you're supposed to be doing, like blapping ships, because it's got better dispersion. Whereas this doesn't. It doesn't scream to me. I'm supposed to be helping people push and radaring DDs and raping them from. Well, I guess the better dispersion, but the range and
Yeah, but you
lack of
lose your,
concealment,
you
so
lose your concealment, so you
that's the
can't
big problem.
actually
If that was
get
in,
close enough.
if
to
that
raid.
was in
Also-
slot 6, I'd take that.
also Arcti, you push into a cap, you get spotted, you radar,
No, you don't push.
and then
sorry.
you see the DD, and then you actually have to aim at the DD, right? So that's gonna be a problem because your guns don't turn, and you
Guns
already
do
have
turn.
really short duration radar. So it's gonna take even longer to turn your guns to actually engage the DD.
Well, okay, so your radar's only it's like 30% worse than Des Moines, which is not that bad. If you have radar mod, it's pretty good. It's
But I
like-
don't.
It's 25 seconds and
But I don't.
yes, but
That's the
then you're not
problem.
taking into account the optimum setup you could have. Because if you could have a radar mod and you could have all these things that are brilliant to you, actually, to be honest, if it went into slot 6, I'd definitely take it. No shadow of a doubt, I would take it. But because it's in slot 5 and it gets rid of your concealment, there's no chance. Because Moskva concealment is so bad that if you don't take it, you've got such awful concealment that you might as well just forget about it.
Yeah.
you can't even get into the position to use your radar properly.
Yeah. And that's the
Well, you
biggest problem.
might, but it's far less likely than with concealment.
And suicidal.
Yeah, and you can't even
Probably.
like hang behind islands like the Des Moines can because your guns just don't shoot high. So
Well, you don't hang behind islands. You are basically on the side of the island.
Yeah, you're pushing around
yeah, but
around a cap.
you get what I'm saying, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay, next up is Khabarovsk. This is also slot 5. So most people take the
Rudder shift.
rudder shift. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. It is actually one of the very few ships that takes something different than concealment expert. But the new upgrade gets you minus 13% to main battery traverse speed, minus 6% to main battery loading time, and plus 8% to main battery maximum fire range. So this is basically all the things that a Kaba really wants, right? More
Except you
range.
have to trade your rudder shift for it, so you become easier to hit, and you
Nope,
can't
you
dodge torpedoes, even to even higher extent.
Yes, but you gain range.
It's
like
only
one.
14.6 after you.
Yeah, that's 1k or
have
more.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a. Actually, you look at it and you think, oh, it's a no-brainer, but I'm not so sure.
Because your turrets also traverse slower.
Yeah. I think this
And
is.
they're not exactly the most fast turn. Like, it's not IGN levels of bad, but it's also,
It's also
not
not.
great.
Yeah.
But it's fast enough.
It's fast enough as it is, but you don't want to nerf the traverse.
Yeah.
Because then you need to turn more, but because you don't have the rudder shift mod, you also turn worms.
Yeah, if we had
All
the
of a
old.
sudden, you become a brick in the water.
If this was
Yeah.
the old Kaba with the old rudder shift, that was better, right?
Yeah.
This would be
Then
completely
you would
fine.
definitely take this.
Oh, almost certainly. But then you're buffing Cabot to the point where it's broken again. So you know,
Yes.
I'm not so sure about that one.
Exactly. But as it is, I don't think this is this trades too much.
Yeah.
If we got a bit more battery range, and a bit less main battery traverse speed, this would be completely fine. But as it is, I think it's just
Well,
not good enough.
that Cabot wouldn't be completely fine though.
Yeah.
It'd be overpowered once again.
I mean, I understand that they don't want to buff it because it's clearly not underpowered in any way. But yeah, it's also not an interesting module.
Yeah.
Upgrade, whatever. It's just not interesting.
Alright, next one is the Z52. This also goes into slot 5. Where
So concealment again.
Yes, again, concealment, of course. And you get minus 5% to detectability radius and minus 10% to torpedo reload time.
Nope. Never gonna take this ever in a million years.
Z52 actually has the worst concealment of destroyers.
Apart from Cabot.
Apart from
Oh,
Hoveros,
no,
but that doesn't
I've
count.
capped on it. 6.4, I think.
6.1 with full concealment.
You don't want to make it even worse, especially considering that at the moment you only your hydro is 5.9, isn't it? So
Yes.
it's actually only a 200-meter window. Whereas all of a sudden, if you're going to minus 5%, then your concealment is, I don't know, but it would be like 6.3, 6.4.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you've got a much larger window in which your hydro is, yeah. All of a sudden, a ship can make half a turn instead of being still bow on when it gets spotted.
Yeah, I think as well, I think this is just too bad to take. Because the Z52 already has a terrible concealment, right? And now it gets even worse.
Already like 1 minute torpedo reload with the skills.
Yeah, so it also doesn't really give you that much less reload time.
I mean, you get down to 62 seconds.
Yeah,
That is quite
somewhat.
strong.
Yeah, but your range is a bit shit, isn't it? 10.5, and the slow, and they do no damage. So
Well, not exactly slow.
well,
No,
That's
slow
69
compared
knots.
to like clearing talks.
69 knots.
They're not-
69 knots is pretty good.
Oh
It's-
yeah, I
That's
guess.
faster than a gear.
Is it?
Gearing has
Gearing,
66, but you can easily take torpedo acceleration on a gearing.
Oh well. But you know, even so, like, yeah,
They are not Shima F3 torpedoes fast. No, they are not.
no.
No, they just
No,
do
but you take-
not
you-
even a 15k damage. Yeah.
You can make them as fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Z52 is bad right now, not at all. But that minus 5%, that 5% less detectability, I don't think that's worth minus 10% to torpedo reload. That just seems too fair, you know? That doesn't seem as broken as some of the other stuff we've had already. It just seems way too
Well,
fair, you know?
This is probably just straight up worse.
Yeah,
It's not even like maybe. I just don't even want to try this.
exactly.
Okay, alright. If you say so.
Well, it makes the ship more fair to other ships, and that's not what you want in a ship. You want your ship to be
Yes, of course.
as unfair as possible in a
Yeah,
way,
of course. Of course.
And yeah,
Then moving on to Shimakaze. This goes into slot 6, where people have the torpedo reload. Of course, because
Yeah.
what else would you take on a Shima, right?
Should we ask Jesper?
Hmm?
Gun range.
Oh, because Jesper plays gunboat Shimakaze.
Yeah, but fuck that. I know the Shima is actually a pretty good gunboat, and I've seen Shimas outfight Gearings. Gunfight Gearings. But yeah. So the thing is, the new upgrade gives you minus 25% to torpedo reload time, plus 50% to the risk of torpedo tubes becoming incapacitated, and minus 80% to torpedo tube traverse speed.
Yes. So this means 10% less torpedo reload time at the cost of making your torpedoes tubes traverse like battleship guns.
yes, 80% worse, and they now traverse at 32 seconds for what 10% beneficial.
36, and with the upgrade for better traverse, like the aiming systems, it is still 30 seconds.
Yeah. For what 10% gain over the current
Yes.
one, which is not significant. Well,
Oh,
I mean,
for
it is
Shima it
significant,
is.
but,
It
not
is
for the.
significant, but
But it's
it,
not
like,
worth it when you've got 30 seconds of turret traverse.
your torpedo tubes just literally turn worse than your main guns. and
Interesting.
like, I believe there are actually battleships with guns that traverse better than that, or at the same level.
Genres probably.
Yeah,
If I had to guess.
some other.
Yeah,
It's just
10% for a Shima
why.
is a lot. Because the base reload is so slow. That's quite a lot of seconds. But yeah, I think 80% is too much. 80% is just too much. Like 60%, fine. Okay, like I can see how that would work. But 80% is just sorry, no.
Yeah, no
It
thanks.
makes it so incredibly slow.
Yeah.
You can't even turn when launching them because your things wouldn't be
Yeah.
never be able to keep up.
Yeah, this is definitely not something for people who use F3 torpedoes.
Like you.
Oh my god, F3 talks with these. No thanks.
you basically get 10% better reload at the cost of all the problems that battleships have while trying to fire their guns.
Without battleship armor. But
Yes.
with destroyer speed and maneuverability.
Yeah. But,
So it might be easier to actually get them on point,
you can't use your maneuverability because then your torpedoes can't keep on target.
But you could turn your ship to turn the torpedo tubes, like
I mean,
battleships
you're
do.
probably not spotted unlike battleships, but it's just why.
I mean, as I said, I think this is a really, really interesting upgrade actually, and it seems pretty nice. But 80% is just too much, in my opinion.
Also, forget about knife fighting NADD with torpedoes.
Oh yes. Or knife fighting anything, because your torpedo tubes will get knocked out so easily. Like, don't get hit at all.
It's still the same as the normal torpedo upgrade.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The normal torpedo upgrade has 15, and plus 50 to the risk
Oh, okay.
of incapacity. So that hasn't changed.
Well, that's something, I guess. Alright. Gearing, again, slot 5. Oh no, this is actually the first slot 5.
No,
so
that was slot 5.
yeah,
that
that's
was slot 5.
God damn it. It's getting late. Okay, we just are gonna have to wrap this up here. Gearing. So obviously you take concealment expert. I think everyone does that. But what you now get is minus 15% to detectability radius, plus 5% to maximum dispersion of enemy shells that fire on your ship, plus 15% to main battery loading time, and plus 5% to torpedo tube reload time. I don't like this one, honestly, because first, it gets the gearing down to shimmer levels of consummate again, which I thought we just agreed on that was a bad idea.
Yeah, it just seems like they're trying to make a gearing a torpedo boat, like a shimmer Kaza, which is just a bit odd considering that a gearing is something that should be going after killing DDs, not going and torping other people.
Yes.
Well, it's more rather it feels like that in that it's better detectability rather than your worse torpedo reload.
And it's also like, what was the point of buffing shimmer concealment when you're then gonna try to give gearing the same? The whole point of that was that you can outspot all of your opponents, and then there suddenly is again a gunboat that has the same concealment.
Yes, but in return you get worse reload time and worse torpedo tube reload time. Significantly worse gun reload time, actually. 15% more. That's a lot.
What is shimmer at the moment? 5.6 or 5.4? What is it? 5.7. So the gearing would have better, because the gearing has 5.8 at the moment, doesn't it?
3.3.
What? No, as in I meant concealment.
Like that? No. Shimmer is then 5.6.
5.6. Yeah, so gearing would outspot it because gearing has 5.8 at the moment, doesn't it? And then if you do that, you then get to 5.5 with the minus 15% instead of the minus 10%.
I think you still get down to 5.6 as well.
No,
pretty sure.
Don't think so.
Let's assume it's the same. That still doesn't change much. It's like
But the thing is, just it's a very significant DPM decrease on our main guns and on our torpedoes as well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like this is only slot 5, so you can still slot your gun reload in slot 6, and your DPM is not going to be significantly worse. What, plus 3% or whatever it would be.
And you still, and then you have the same concealment as shimmer and still better at gun reload.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Even if the shimmer slots all the gun reload and BFT and everything, you don't even need to do anything on the gearing, and you still have better gun reload.
I still don't think this is a good upgrade for the gearing, just because you give up so much for it.
I agree, but it's not exactly bad. I just don't think it would be optimal.
Yeah, and just apart from all that, it's really not good for the game either. But
not at all.
Moving on then. Actually, Finx, are you still with us?
Yes.
Very good.
But I have nothing to say.
Okay. Next one is Yu Yang. This is for slot 6. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And this is something I thought about a bit, and it's really interesting because so let's just say most people have the main battery mod in slot 6 because that's what Yu Yang does very good. It's a very good DD hunter with radar and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially that with radar.
Yes, especially with radar, and I'm coming to that again. So the new upgrade gets you minus 15% to smoke duration, minus 30% to smoke emission, minus 10% to main battery loading time, and minus 10% to torpedo tube loading time.
Yeah.
You see that the drawback is all on the smoke.
Yeah. They want
but what if you don't use smoke?
And
think about this. You use radar, and none of these drawbacks apply to you, and you just get 10% better reload time and 10% better torpedo tube reload time.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
No drawback.
you just if you're playing Radar Young, you're probably just gonna get this because why
It
not?
simply has no drawbacks, right?
The only drawback is that you can't take the normal one.
Yeah, but that 5% is kind of neglect. You can
And
kind of neglect that.
For torpedoes, it's only 5%, and for guns, it's only 2%, and you get both.
Yes, and you can't get the drawbacks of either. So your torpedo tubes are still not
Because you
gonna get
don't use
incapacitated
smoke.
as much, and your guns still turn as fast as they always did.
Yeah. I was laughing so much when I saw this movie
Yes.
the first time. Like, if you play Radar Yang, it's just.
I just hope they fix this. Honestly,
What?
I really hope they fix this because this is just no.
Yeah, making an already rather strong ship even more strong. And
Yeah.
even more deep water torpedoes. Like, those things are so fun already.
Yeah, we
Like-
need more deep water torpedoes.
It's like war games, but nobody plays Radar Young anyway, so that should be fine.
I've seen lots
Thank
of
you.
radar
Well, I
Youngs.
think
Especially,
Yeah, but I mean, like war
I think
game
they think wrong.
things.
yes, they think wrong. See also Clan Wars, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be super broken for Clan Wars, I think.
Oh yes, this is gonna be
Clan Wars
so
is gonna
great.
be cancer, maybe.
But as I said, they're definitely gonna have to fix this somehow before releasing it as is.
Yep.
And last but not least, Grozavoy. So most people take a reload, I think, because that's what Grozavoy does. She hunts down other DDs. They can't run away, and she kills them. So the new upgrade gives
Well, it's
you.
also not a bad torpedo bound.
Yes, but it really excels at being a DD hunter.
Actually, I think you'll find that quite a lot take AA.
Yeah, because you have really good AA and defensive fire.
Oh yeah, but then they also only take it in like very specific scenarios, like
No.
King of the Sea.
No.
or-
You'll find lots
Yeah.
of ones in randoms with radar. Sorry, not with radar, but with AA. Because if you think about it, like you want to be like the most cancer you can be possible to a carrier. How do you do that? You add lots and lots and lots of AA, and also lots of them. You rarely see Grozavoys outside of an AA division.
Yeah.
So
And if you do, they probably still have it because then you don't really have the problem so much that the carrier will constantly spot you.
because it won't want to spot you because all of its planes will disappear.
Yeah.
It's the only point for me getting a Grozavoy would be CAA.
Yeah.
Like,
I can see that. Anyways, let's just compare this new one to the main battery modification 3, okay? So the new one gets you -7% to main battery traverse speed, -18% to main battery loading time, and +10% to torpedo tube reload time. So you get way better loading time than the normal upgrade would give you, but you also get increased torpedo tube reload time. But you
your
get
guns are
less
slower.
traverse speed nerf. So yeah,
I don't know for who this is.
I think the traverse speed on Grozavoy is already not that bad, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a nerf, to be honest. Like, that's bearable. If you already run for all the people that already run the reload mod,
Same as Khabarovsk.
it's just a buff to them, but I don't think that many people run reload mod Grozavoy anyway, so, yeah.
Yeah, I would also play her like basically like gearing, I guess. Does Grozavoy and Khabarovsk have basically the same arms?
Yeah, Grozavoy's
Basically
guns
the
are
same
really good.
shells.
And
So
the shell
basically-
arms, yeah.
Why does nobody play her with a with more range. I mean, Grozvoy is smaller, it's better rudder shift, has better torpedoes, and
Grozvoy is not as fast. Doesn't have the tall plates.
It's
The
still
troll-
No,
really,
but the
really
hull
fast.
plates
You know-
are kind of like a negative and a positive, to be fair, though.
that's the same problem with the gearing. They hurt when a battleship is shooting at you.
Except
Grozvoy is
Horos can actually bounce on shells.
That's true. But it also means that if they do get into your side, they're more likely to arm.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think Kaba is still the superior gunboat at range. Definitely, simply because you don't have the 50mm armor, so things like Zao, HE, and stuff doesn't just shatter when it hits the side. And that's a pretty big buff, I think. Last two things, Midway and Hakuryu. Finx?
That's me.
Yes. Kaza, do you play carriers?
I do, but I have so many problems with interface that I actually don't have carriers with like high tier carriers, so I have no idea about their.
Okay, Finx.
Like,
Then I just want your very quick opinions on the carriers. I'll just say what most people take for Midway. They take 15% plus on attack aircraft survivability, and the new upgrade is plus 30% to attack aircraft survivability, and the trade-off is minus 5% of maximum aircraft speed. That means all aircraft are affected by this debuff. What do you think of this?
Means the attack aircraft are not fighters. These are only the strike aircraft.
Yes.
They will probably be like stronger than stock tier 10s, but also slow, like the torpedo bomb, the dive bombers, so they are now 156 knots. The ones of Syakuryu are, let me see. Well, actually, I don't really need to compare them. Like, I compared them to the fighters. 180 knots. Now this will get even slower. I don't know really if that's worth. I mean, it isn't really bad. I would maybe take it. But also planes, not only the attack are planes, also the fighters are slower. So about 10 knots slower than Zakuri. I personally would take it.
Will outrun you. It will mean that Hakuryu planes will just outrun you everywhere.
I mean, they can outrun me anyway. I'm 2 knots slower than them.
Yeah, but also dive bombers.
Dive bombers can only strike aircraft only outrun their fighters when they're empty. So.
But do they also still do with the debuff?
Every plane is affected by the debuff.
Yeah, but the Hakuryu planes aren't affected by the Midway debuff.
By the what for debuff?
The Midway gets slower aircraft.
Yes.
Can loaded Hakuryu dive bombers then outrun them?
Loaded Hakuryu dive bombers are 161 knots. I wouldn't say so though. But they need some time to catch up to the dive bombers, and I don't think it's worth to chase them.
So, in conclusion, do you think this upgrade is worth it over the normal one?
I would have to collect some data.
Okay.
Like, where's if it would be only strike aircraft or Mach for the aircraft speed, then yes, definitely, but it's all about the fighters here. And I don't think that's a problem with the average CV play.
Hmm.
But, eh.
Okay. Then next thing is Hakurio. She basically takes the same normal thingy with plus 15% to attack aircraft survivability. And now we get, and she instead gets plus 5% to maximum aircraft speed and plus 15% to fighter HP. So we see AS Hakurio is making a comeback
Yeah.
after she
So
was
they
already
want
recently
to-
buffed.
So they
You
want
could
to
take-
buff
you could-
stronger fighters even more.
Yes.
You would probably take this if you're playing 4-2-2.
Yeah, but what's the drawback? Like,
Not getting stronger strike planes.
yeah, of course.
Because that's why you might not have won, especially back when Kuryu still had 2-3-3.
No, this will probably be a no-brainer in competitive.
Yeah, for competitive, definitely.
And in higher ranks, maybe. But in ranked, but
In randoms,
no,
I don't
like,
think so.
But on the other hand,
why
5%
not?
faster planes all around. All
Yes.
planes 5% faster.
So this
Yeah, and
this would make the difference between the Midway and Hakuryu when they
I
both have the
actually
upgrade.
did the calculations, and if the Midway is running that mod and the Hakurio is running that mod, then the loaded dive bombers actually outrun the Midway fighters.
That is pretty cool, I guess.
Well, that's actually just really bad
Yeah.
for the game.
Every plane outruns the Midway fighters then. So torpedo bombers are even faster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just stupid.
Yeah, this is like obviously a buff to Hakurio AS, right? But it's kind of nerfing the strike power. So I think this upgrade is completely fine, in my opinion. Especially considering what the Midway got on the other end.
I don't think so much. If you can already outrun all of the Midway fighters,
Your strike
Oh, they
planes
can't.
will be, yeah, but your strike planes will be shut down easier.
Yeah.
only by like the AA itself, not by the carrier, because the carrier won't be able to catch you, will it?
No, would I take it or would I not?
You can still
I mean,
strike.
the carrier doesn't have to catch you when he's just covering his fleet.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you
You
can
have
still
basically
strafe.
to come to him.
And you can still strafe with Midway fighters, which makes them a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But what you actually can now, I think you should be able to outrun strafes now.
No. Yeah, maybe with empty. That will be really retarded.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone have anything else they really want to talk about today?
I think these upgrades. Why? Like tier 10 ships are strong enough. They don't
Right,
need a
right,
buff.
right. I almost forgot that. Do you think these upgrades are a good addition to the game or not?
Nope.
No. Like
I think that the ships that need them should just get buffs to the ships, because not all ships need them, and they don't particularly add anything to the game. I think they just add complexity,
No.
and only the top players are really actually going to realize that it doesn't matter so much for most of the population of the servers anyway, because they just don't run optimal builds in the first place. So
I do like the idea of having upgrades like this, but
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I like the idea, but I don't think it's
the implementation is
Yep.
not.
exactly. I agree completely with that one. Implementation is poor, and that if there's boats that need buffing, buff the boats. Don't give them stupid gimmicky things.
Yes.
No, please do not buff the boats.
Well, if they
not all of
need
them.
it,
You know
yes.
why? Just think about it. Let's say you give Yamato now also a Montana Citadel.
Oh well, no, I didn't mean like that though.
Does that
Like,
help actually like
well, you gotta. It
the game?
depends. Yeah.
Like just think about the tier 9, the tier 10s or tier 10 channel that then try to basically, let's say, fight Yamato.
I think it depends in the way you buff them, but I think that a Yamato could do with some love, but not necessarily by buffing its Citadel. I don't think that's necessarily the way to go with that one.
I think like
just like giving them
Yamato
better
has
reloads.
the perfect BB arm. She's strong from the front, and weak from the side.
Yeah, I would like if other battleships also had that kind of weakness, but unfortunately they don't.
I completely agree.
Also,
Although I think that Montana is almost encroaching on how Yamato has its gun power, but I think Montana is kind of encroaching on that. On the fact that actually I think the Montana's gun power is better than Yamato's gun power.
In most
most
situations, it can fire double the amount of kills.
so the upgrades wouldn't also be good for the tier 8s and tier 9s because they wouldn't have access to them.
Oh yeah, it's just going to make the power gap even worse. Yeah, it's going to be so fun. Very fun
Only
to
for
grind
tier
tier
8.
8 ships.
I'm actually surprised there isn't a module that increases AA.
Oh, that's actually true. I think if they've given Grozza Boy
No,
an
please.
AA module, yes please.
No. No,
Plus 50% AA damage.
I do not agree with this.
Yeah, I think this is just it's gonna make it harder for tier 9s and 8s to fight the poor in the poor up tier battle against the tier 10s. And it just can only repeat what Arcti said with nerf the fucking ships. Don't give them really weird gimmicks.
Yeah, it's just
like
stupid.
make them just play their playstyle. There's enough ships in the game that we can have that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like make the other options that are not consumer and expert or reload appealing. How about that?
Didn't they already say something with they want to change like the captains that something like consumed expert is a no-brainer or something like that? I think that's months ago.
But yeah, that's what I want.
I think maybe then in that case, DDs don't get the option to have the what you call target acquisition. Just take the consumer module away from battleships. Just make it so they can't mount it anymore. If that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Just take the consumer mod away completely.
No.
Yes.
Destroyers, cruisers. I don't think it needs to go away. But like on battleships, it's a bit.
Well, I'm not too sure about like for cruisers. I think it's still a nice option to have or rudder shift or concealment. For DDs, it's like always concealment.
You realize there's a third thing there in the drop down. There's a third.
But target acquisition is awful, and why would you ever use it?
Yes, actually, but how about you buff that? How about you make that a bit better?
How would you buff it?
I don't know, but that's the thing.
I think it's so bad that like, why would you even?
No, but that's just what I'm saying. Like, try to actually add more diversity to that, and don't just add some weird gimmicks.
But yeah, I think the problem is that
weird.
Battleships with a consumer module maybe a little bit too much. So just take the consumer module away from battleships, because do they even have? Oh, is it that they can't? Can they fit rudder shift?
No.
If make it so that battleships. Okay, well that's it then, isn't it? And the DDs can't Okay, make it so that battleships can't mount concealment and can mount rudder shift and target acquisition. Make it so that cruisers can mount all three, and make it so that DDs can mount only rudder
Concealment
shift
and rudder shift.
or concealment. Yeah,
And
and
no
therefore,
target
yeah.
acquisition.
Exactly. And then I think that actually you'll find that battleship metal will change considerably,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and it'll be interesting, and it'll fix some of the problems that we have in the game at the moment with
Battleships
certain
approaching
battleships
cruiser concealment.
Yeah.
It might actually make cruisers more comfortable to play because you don't have the spotting
Yep.
problem.
Apart from Conqueror, and which still needs a nerf to its concealment, I think.
Yeah. All right, but I think we are kind of getting off topic, or like rather getting into another topic, which is huge again.
Game balance in general, yeah.
And we've talked for 2 hours now, so I think it's time to wrap this up. Thanks you all for being here. Thanks everyone for listening, and see you in about a week, I guess.
Maybe TM soon. TM.
Yes,
Yeah,
soon TM,
yeah, soon TM.
exactly. So, bye.
Next week, TM.
Goodbye.